Welcome to this tutorial about mastering the 4-pedal anti-spin flower, which is this, or in another direction, it's this. This follows up on the tutorial about just the 4-pedal and the in-spins. So if you haven't watched that, or if you're aware about like what the 4-pedal is about, and you can do it with one hand in front in wall plane, then you're good to go with this tutorial. If not, I recommend watching that, and that's gonna make you learn that, and you can then proceed to this. So in that tutorial, I'm mentioning all the time how this 4-pedal has 4 pedals, but it has 3 circles. So when you're learning that with one hand, you can count to 3 because there are these 3 downswings, right, as you can see on the picture. So it makes it easier to do the right amount. However, once you do this in split time, then this way of counting doesn't work because it's split time. So when you feel the pull with one hand, the other paw is coming up. So then when you do the 4-pedal, at least for me, it doesn't work to count to 3. So in this case, it's better to focus on a slightly different part of this move. And that's not the downswing, but it's more like aiming to these 4 cardinals, to these 4 different positions of a diamond, and perhaps trying to really aim and draw the shape not only with the paw but also with your hand. So let's just clarify that there are 2 different ways how you can make an anti-spin pattern. One is you're just doing a big circle with your arm and you're spinning the paw, and by choosing the right speed of the paw and the arm, the result will be the shape you want. So basically the hand pays no attention to the shape, it only spins the paw, and then if combined well, those 3 circles during that 1 circle of your arm, it results in the 4-pedal. The other way, which we're gonna focus on now, is actually really drawing the shape. So something like more glitchy, just going from one position to another. This is more useful for this, because this then with both hands makes much more sense, because the paw always go together inside and outside. So then when you're doing the 4-pedal anti-spin, you can always feel the pull outside from the center to the out together with both hands, like that. It's definitely good to have a little bit heavy paw, because you really want to feel that pull to the outside. It happens in wheel plane, which is essentially a bit different than just doing it here. So in wall plane, when you're standing in wall plane, try to turn and practice with both hands in a wheel plane. Perhaps the more easy one is when you're spinning forwards, so that means your arms will go backwards. So what's difficult about it is not only drawing the right shape, but also keeping the right timing, split timing, because there are positions throughout the move where it's more difficult to keep that timing. And those positions typically are the vertical ones. Whereas here in the center, when you come out to the horizontal, it is not so difficult to keep the timing. Whereas when you start going to the vertical positions, which are part of the move, it's more difficult. So then it happens that people are losing the timing when they do this, and it swings to, you know, some sort of hybrid earth mixed with a bit of water. So there's an exercise that I recommend to do, which mainly focuses on keeping the timing. The most easy position where you can keep the timing is in the center. So right, we're doing a big circles with big extensions with our arms, and the center of those big extensions is our shoulder. So in this center here, it's very easy to spin split timing. So this can be our initial position from where we will reach out to all the 4 different positions. So you try to spin like this, and you want to first go to the horizontal one, so you want to put your left to the front and keep spinning split time. And when you feel it's getting messy, bring it back. Now you want to put your right in front and keep spinning. Split timing, feeling the pull 1, 2, 1, 2, and bring it back in. Now you want to do the same with the vertical position. So you want to take your right hand, put it up, and the left hand is going to go down, and try to keep the split timing. And you can also be somewhere between, going slowly from the center out to like a complete stretched position, which is difficult to do with a clean timing. And then the other hand on the top, so if you had your right on top, you're gonna have your left on the top now, trying to keep the split time. What you can also do, another exercise, is going slowly through the flower and try to keep the timing throughout the whole movement. So you're gonna just try to do like a slow anti-spin movement and really focusing on the timing. And your hands don't even need to be super extended. The main goal here is like learning to feel the split timing when you're moving your arms the opposite direction, and perhaps mainly stretch in the horizontal positions where it's more easy. And as you come to the vertical one, you can kind of cheat and bring the hands a little bit more together, but just really focusing on keeping the timing. And I think this is a shadow drill that when you do for 15 minutes for a few days, it's gonna really help you to keep the timing, because your hands are simply not used to keep the timing when they're separated, right? It's so easy to keep split time when they're part of some sort of pattern where one hand guides the other. But here there is no such guidance. Also, one shadow drill that might really help you actually is when you're going from the center to these two vertical positions, try to go out very quickly and immediately back in. So you don't even do a full circle there, you just put the hands away from each other and bring them back in. This, yeah? So I'm here, I go up and back, and now up and back with the other hand. Up and back, up and back, up and back. So if I now keep doing the same pattern, but start slowly anti-spinning my hands, it's gonna unfold into the 4-petal anti-spin flower, right? Because this has the same amount of circles that there are. So if you can do this, one and one and one and making sure always the hands are going away from each other, so one is going up, the other one is going down, and then always try to go like from the middle position, try to go with the hand that's going up, try to go a bit behind you, bit behind. Keep doing the same thing. Eventually, if you manage to stretch that out, it's going to become the 4-petal anti-spin. This should then help you to do the right amount of circles when you're doing the full pattern. And then once you've been through this, you can start from here, and you can go by halves. So you're gonna, let's say, start with your right behind, left in front, and you wanna go from the center to this position, and then you're gonna go up and down, like one hand is going up, the other one is going down, and arrive on the other side and bring the hands back in. And you can repeat this. So right in the back, and one anti-spin. And you really want to focus on now this moment when the poi are coming away from each other, and one is going up, the other one is going down. Yeah. So you want to emphasize that. So yeah, starting with right going behind, half. You can go back in, fix your timing, and then the same, but starting from the left behind. So up. Then try to have just like few circles in between. So when you start from here, you can do one and stop here, and then go to the other. And for instance, you can have an exercise in which you will always pay attention to the pedal that's going up. You can't look on both sides at the same time, right? So this time I'm always going to be looking to the hand which is doing the upper pedal, which is more difficult, I think. So from here, if this is going to be my left going up, pay attention to that. Now I'm going to put my attention to my right and look on the right. And my left and my right. And if you've practiced that split timing thing, then the other hand should catch up and automatically join the movement somehow. Because there is this somehow this sort of water symmetry. The hands are essentially doing the same, but in split time. It's not like when things are in this timing, when it's clear. But there is a way how one hand helps the other when you've practiced all these moves enough. And then again, with focusing on the upper pedal, you can try to go continuously and always focus on the upper pedal. So one and one and one and one and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you're struggling with planes, if there's some like mess happening, like your planes are opening up and behind your hand want to go too far, think about you want to be turning towards the side where you're doing the back pedal. Yeah, so your arms are essentially moving this way, right, backwards, since your poi are moving forwards and we're in antispin. So you always want to turn and follow the hand which is going in the back, but not too much, because this is a very common mistake that people are going way too behind and somehow turning into that. You want to keep those two circles parallel to each other, and the right should never exceed its trajectory and cross, you know? If you see when I do this, it's like if I'm doing an X, right? So the two planes are essentially crossing. They really have to stay parallel and never cross. But still you want to be turning to that. So it's more like opening towards one side, opening towards the other. But make sure you're not doing too much behind, because that makes it difficult and wrong. So then you can apply the same idea to focusing on different pedals of the pattern, not only the upper one. So yeah, upper, so I can say, okay, lower, lower, and check my pedal. And then trying to see the forward, the one in front of me, whether it's really in the same height as my hand. Like the tip of the pedal has to be exactly in the same level as my arm, right? Like imagine that if you took a picture if you took 4 pictures, one in each of these different positions, there is always the moment when your arm is fully stretched and the poi is fully extended, right? Nice, so I hope this helped you and encourage you to try the same in opposite directions. So if you've now been spinning forwards, you want to try in backwards, because of course then you can turn, which one of my next tutorials will be about. And that's super fun. So the same technique, you're just spinning backwards. You can explore the 4 different positions. You can try to do this and then unfold it into that anti-spin. Yeah, going slowly, tack, 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 trying to keep the pattern, keep the good timing, and then eventually doing halves, up, and up, focusing on or looking at the top pedal, up, up, and then connecting it, focusing on the different pedals. So how to make the flower really perfect when you cannot see all the pedals at the same time? Just not looking at each one or like a specific one, but just trying to see with the bottom of your eye the whole pattern. So when I do this, I'm looking forward and I don't really see so much, of course, what's happening behind me. Or I can be looking always behind me and check for the pedal behind me, because that's the most difficult one, no matter which direction I'm spinning. But just trying to have a global picture about how the whole pattern looks. And of course, doing it in front of a mirror helps. But then you always have to turn to one side, right? If I'm doing this, then I'm looking in the mirror, in the camera, then, you know, here, I should normally turn to that side to make it more easy for me. But still, it can be very beneficial, of course. And of course, you want to be able to do that 4-pedal in both directions, with both hands in the wall plane, or just in the wheel plane separately. As if you have all these pieces, then you should be good to complete that into one beautiful anti-spin flower. Alright, so hope this helped you and you will have some fun with 4-pedal anti-spins. Ciao.